Welcome to H4G, everybody. I have insomnia tonight, so instead of sleeping, I'm going to be delivering to you a WonderSwan review. Now, the cool thing about this game is that I can't find any reviews for it online. Maybe they exist? I don't know. But this might be the first time this game is reviewed in English. So even if you're not a huge WonderSwan fan, hey, that's alright. Stick around, it may be the first and only time you hear about this game. We are going to be rocking Flash Koibito-Kun? Koibito-Kun? I'm probably botching that, but basically means Lover-kun, and you will find out why very soon. We are rocking the same series as before, looking at 3 different elements for WonderSwan games. Ultimately, does it boil down to, can you play and understand it as a non-Japanese speaker? Is it fun? And very importantly, for WonderSwan games, is it worth the price? Now that's a big one, because some of them are jacked up to shit on eBay right now. It's pretty friggin' ridiculous. But we'll find out. Let's talk about the story of this one, because this is my favorite part. Now, love is a bitch, and basically you, the protagonist, immediately gets dumped, starts crying, and what does he do? He goes into a magic dojo where he can pump hearts right into girls' mouths. Now, is that a metaphor? I don't know, but it is what it is. He is rocking hearts very hard, and you have to guide the hearts over the treacherous ledges to make sure that they get into the woman, or to the woman. Sometimes she eats them, sometimes she doesn't. I don't know. It's kind of, it's Japanese, so that's enough explanation right there. Making metaphorical love to every single female character in the game. Now, one of the great things about the story here is that it is just friggin' bonkers. Again, I can't read the text. I don't speak Japanese. You don't really need to, but I'm sure there's some weird, quirky stuff going on here. But you start off in a dojo, you make your way to the city, then suddenly you're in space, and then your rocket ship hits the Earth, and now you're in hell for some reason, then you go to heaven. It is a mess. It is Japanese. It is absolutely awesome. Everything you could possibly want, or not know that you wanted, but you really needed, I guess, from this type of a game. It keeps it fresh, it keeps it interesting, at least from a useless story perspective. Let's talk about gameplay. This game is a action puzzler, I guess you could call it. Basically, you're like this little ninja Cupid guy. I guess Cupid would make sense because you're guiding hearts into a woman. And sometimes that woman is an alien, sometimes she's a she-devil, on and on and on, angels, etc. And basically, you want to make sure that you guide the hearts over these crevasses and such to make sure they don't fall. If too many of them fall, they crack, they die, you're screwed, start again. Aside from that, you're just bouncing around, making sure not too many of them fall. You can kind of stifle their progress a little bit to stack them up, and when you do, the girl that you're trying to woo really likes it, and you can do kind of a combo point multiplier thing, which kind of helps you get that high score that you're looking for, especially since it is a puzzle action game. The gameplay is enjoyable, but my one big qualm with it, you just kind of, you keep playing, you wait for it to get challenging, it just kind of never gets really challenging. I feel like this game would be killer if it was faster paced. So there may be, say, 3 levels per area, and those will get harder, but then you'll go to the next area and it won't necessarily be harder than the last one. I feel like they really missed an opportunity here to make each area and zone, so to speak, harder than the last one. And that's what I was really craving, was a little more challenge as I went, but I felt like I was kind of starting over again every single time. Like, okay, well, let me get through this kind of slow level. Okay, the next one's a little bit harder. Oh, okay, this one's a little bit more challenging. I'm zipping around. Oh, okay, new zone. All right, well, this is kind of easy. Bad pacing. Really bad pacing overall, I would say. A little bit about the graphics and presentation now. This is a decent looking WonderSwan game. It's not pushing the hardware by any means. It's kind of NES, quality. Overall though, presentation is okay. There's some cool stuff going on with some transparencies and some other little neat effects, but overall, I feel like you could do this game on a Game Boy Color, which kind of sucks because this is supposed to be a 16-bit color system, and it kind of feels pretty darn 8-bit to me, which I guess you're not really playing it for the presentation, but sprucing it up a little bit would be nice too. I mean, it definitely hardly pushes the system at all. And also keep in mind here that the WonderSwan is the most reflective surface known to man. You could literally line a wall with WonderSwan crystals and do your hair and makeup. It is just so damn reflective. It is so damn difficult to record. It is a mess. I gave up after an hour and a half of trying to get this all set up and shoot and just went to emulation. Hate to say it, we normally don't do that in H4Games, but I had to this time. I'm just too damn tired. So you'll notice in the emulation, it is hyper saturated. Looks better on the actual WonderSwan crystal. And you got some weird glitching stuff going on the emulated ROM. Also, all the women I wooed while emulating turned into men, so I don't know what's going on with that exactly. Something's happening. Maybe I clicked something, I don't know. I would also be double remiss if I didn't mention the music. On the emulated version, on my computer speakers, it sounds very, very high-pitched. It totally just grates at your ears. So if you don't have a WonderSwan, you're looking to emulate this game, maybe turn the volume down or mute it and listen to something else, because my god. But on the actual hardware, that sort of high-pitched nonsense actually sounds better, a little bit more muted in a way, so it's not as bad on the actual console. But that said, the music is extremely repetitive. Yeah, the different zones and areas sound a little bit different, but not enough. I mean, if you weren't paying attention, they would just seem like the same song. So let's get down to it. Can you play and understand this game as an English speaker? Why, yes, you certainly can. Other than the cutscenes, you don't need to understand Japanese at all. Is it fun? Yeah-ish. Like I said in the gameplay segment, it needs to get harder faster. Maybe it does after you beat the game, but I kind of didn't have the patience to get all the way through it, at least in one day. It needs to be more challenging, but it's fun, pick up and play. Now, is it worth the price? Now, this is the tricky one. I traded for this game. It's at Retro-Taku. Check out our video if you haven't already with Retro-Taku. It's an awesome gaming store in Madison Heights, Michigan. Little plug there. For like $7-8, but right now I see it on eBay for like $80. I think that's a BS price. I think just someone thought it was rare and inflated it. I would say this game is worth about $7 or $8 if you can find it. I wouldn't pay much more than that because honestly, you're not going to get a lot of bang for your buck. It's a short game, but if you're into action puzzlers, definitely give it a shot. Aside from that, thank you very much for joining me on my very sleepy WonderSwan review. I'm a little tired, a little out of it at the moment. But hey, if you like this, we have tons of WonderSwan reviews that you can check out. To go ahead and click the card above. There's going to be some in the description below. If you really like this, you want to see more of it, the best way to encourage us to do so is to click that share button. It really screws with YouTube's oppressive algorithm and helps grow our channel when you press it. So go ahead and press that share button and really tell YouTube who's boss. It's you, the viewers, are boss.